Good morning, Anne.
Good morning, James.
And good morning, everybody. Hopefully, as always, you are all having a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week, whenever it is that you are listening. And once more, Anne, here we are, Sunday morning.
Yes,
Are you happy to begin?
I am.
Brilliant. Where shall we start this morning?
Really, just in conversations I've had with somebody this week.
Okay.
And it's going back in time.
Right. Okay.
We were talking, first of all, about what's happening, within the world at the moment, both of us.
Yes.
And what's particularly with children and, children playing out. We were saying that you don't see children playing out, and we were talking about the Bobby on the Beat.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's what started it, the Bobby on the Beat.
Back when you were children.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and instances of the Bobby and how they would deal with you. So it's really how people used to deal with you in those days. If you could have your neighbour, you could be doing something wrong, and your neighbour could just give you a clout and say, I'll tell your mother about you, and you'd go home and you'd take a shad, and your mother would give you another one.
Yeah.
It was like a tit for tat time.
Yeah.
That, they all supported each other. But the Bobby on the... Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say it was a time from what you were saying just then when people knew each other.
And they all knew each other.
Yeah, families knew each other, houses knew each other.
Yeah, it was a community.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
So, so you
and you knew your local policeman or policewoman.
It was the Bobby, he wasn't the policewoman, he wasn't the police, he was the Bobby.
The Bobby, right, yeah.
And I can remember that when I was very tiny, and my mother said to me, if you ever get in trouble outside, if you're scared or you're ever in trouble, just go to the Bobby on the Beat.
Right.
And he'll help you.
Yeah.
And he'll get you home and you'll be safe.
Isn't it sad that it has changed?
Yeah. But then she also said,
yeah,
but if you do something wrong, he'll take you to the police station and you'll be in trouble.
Yeah, just like Jack with his buttons.
Jack with his buttons,
that he cut them off his coat.
That's right, yeah.
If that doesn't make sense to you, I can't remember the number of the episode, but a few episodes ago, Anne personally shared a story from her childhood of her brother Jack, who cut with a knife buttons off his coat. And Alice, Anne's mother, marched him down to the local police station, and he was placed in a cell, wasn't he?
He was placed
for a period of time while your mother had a cup of tea with a local Bobby to teach Jack a lesson, which worked.
Yeah. And a biscuit.
And a biscuit, yeah. Mustn't forget the biscuits.
Funnily enough, they didn't give me a biscuit or a drink.
The injustice of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, what an injustice. So if you'd like to listen to that episode, I can't remember off the top of my head the title of the episode, but if you scroll back, I'm sure you'll see something like Anne's story of the story of the missing buttons or something like that to do with the police.
Yes, that's right.
There you go.
So we were, between us, we were talking about experiences in our childhood.
Yeah.
He's the same age group as me.
Yes.
And I was saying that when I was 7 and we went for firewood, we were looking for firewood, and we took four of us.
Yeah.
When we took the sleeper off, we took a sleeper at Clayton Anna Line. We took a sleeper off the railway because the trains used to go into the works.
Yeah.
And
I feel like you may have shared this story as well.
Yeah. And the Bobby saw us, made us go and put it back.
Yeah.
But what he did was he made us stand until the train came. Let's put it back exactly.
So you understood the consequences of your actions. You could literally see what would have happened.
So he said to us, once the train went over, what would have happened if it's called a sleeper? He told us it was a piece of wood to us.
Yeah.
He told us it was a
They're
sleeper.
quite heavy, those sleepers.
It was only a small one.
You did well to lift it.
It was when the train turned, that sleeper was there, and the train caught this sleeper and stopped it to help it around the corner.
Yeah.
So, and when he said...
So it was really necessary.
It wasn't. So he said, what would have happened if that wasn't there? And I said, the train would have fallen over.
Right.
It was me.
Yeah.
And he said, yes, but what about the driver? You would have killed the driver and you would have destroyed the goods.
That's a good point.
And then... He gave the four of us, a clout across the head.
That's a good old-fashioned word, isn't it? A good old clout.
A clout across the head. And said, now, off with the four of you, and just be glad I'm not taking you home to your parents and telling them.
Yeah.
So it was like it was a different type of justice, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And we got talking about
Almost like an
this.
instant justice.
An
Things
instant
were dealt
ju-
with there and then.
It was there and then.
Yeah.
And then you never did it again. Because, it told us what would happen, so we never did it, never went and did it again.
Yeah.
And then he himself was talking about school, because as a young boy going to school, he said at his school they had the slipper.
The slipper, right.
You hear about, I hadn't heard about the slipper.
Yeah.
I'd heard about, we had a strap in our school where
Yeah.
you used to hit your hand.
This would be used instead
Yeah.
of, like you're saying, a strap or a cane.
Yeah, a cane. And they
Or
had
a
a cane
hand or
in some
something like that.
schools. Well,
Yeah.
in his school they had the slipper.
The slipper, right.
And he was talking about something that he'd done
Yeah.
and had to have the slipper. And he said it was mortified. He was mortified.
Yeah.
He said, and embarrassed. And I said, why? Because they did it in public in the whole school, in front of the whole school when these things happened.
Yeah.
And he said, no. He said, not in that way. He said it because girls were there.
Yeah.
He said it was the girls saw him.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the punishment that was the thing.
Yeah.
It was in a way, the humiliation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think there's many ways, isn't there, of looking at how we react in everything in life, but into something that somebody's trying to teach us a lesson. We can either
Yeah.
take it as something that we can be resentful for, or we can
Yeah.
remember it like him.
Mm.
And he said, I never did anything again. He said, because I wasn't going to go through that where the girls were.
Yeah, that's a good point, Anne. I think we're always at a point of choice, aren't we?
Yes.
Myself included. Everybody, in terms of how far down the path of injustice and victimhood we take something.
Yeah.
Quite often with good reason and good cause. But we also can choose to bring in, at times, a good dose of sense of humour, common
Yes.
sense, and, taking responsibility. Whether or not you actually did something or not, and whether you knew the consequences beforehand. And if you did, then so be it. So to a degree, whether or not that's the right path today, that's a different question. Yeah, it's not easily answered, but sometimes I think it gets overcomplicated.
I think and when I look back on my
Yeah.
childhood, I think it was more exciting than it is today.
Yeah.
It might not be because I'm not a child, but for me, life was, like with my friend when
Yeah.
we used to go to the park, and her
Much more freedom.
her mother used to make us look after her brother,
Yeah,
who was only 2 because she was quite a few years.
that's
older
really
than
interesting. So that's a mix of freedom and responsibility.
Yes,
So you were placed in a position of safeguarding and responsibility,
yes,
which will have meant that you had to be more responsible, more aware,
yeah.
but also you had the freedom of not being with your parents.
Yeah, but we used to hide him in the bushes and go off on our own. And then go back and find him in the bushes. He was 2 in a trolley. Couldn't get out.
I'm not sure what to say to that. Yeah, it's that,
So she
Yeah.
did give us responsibility, but we weren't very good with it. But he became very, very independent, that boy.
Well, you justify it.
Yeah.
You
And
justify
we
it.
said, he went off to Australia and became very famous in Australia. And we said, that's because we used to leave him on his own in the bushes.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good point in general. I feel that children today, not every child, obviously not every child, but generally they are quite often inside buildings, clubs, houses, homes, bedrooms.
Cosseted.
Yes, and playing out seems to be less common. Gangs of kids out on their bikes, big games of football, climbing trees, playing on rope swings, going on adventures, disappearing for the day, coming back when it gets dark. It feels like, and from the families and children that I know and hear about, life is less like that. It's much more about what clubs they're going to. Gymnastics club, football club, swimming club, dance club, which I have no doubt can be and are great fun. Whether it could be karate or something. But it's not got that spontaneity, that sense of adventure, and it's often in the presence of adults, which I do think is really important. But there has to be times when children can be children and learn for themselves and have that independence. I think what's happened is people feel the world is so scary, partly with reason, partly it's whipped up into this paranoia, really, that people don't feel children are safe. And therefore children are discouraged from just being out in the world. And I do think that's a shame. I do think that's a shame, because the joy of going out, particularly in the school holidays, particularly the summer holidays, going out in the morning and not coming back till late in the evening or even late at night, if it's, high summer and it's daylight till 9-10 o'clock at night, there's a real sense of adventure, a real coming of age.
Yes.
And you could go for miles. I did walk for miles through who knows where, farmers' fields, back lanes, climbing trees, causing trouble, organising big games of football, people that you knew, people that you didn't know.
And did you have fear when you were doing those things?
Not really. I mean, people have different personalities. So what climbing a tree is like to one child is different to another child. But generally, no, not really. No. I think it was a much more curious, spontaneous adventure. Things went wrong, people got in trouble. Life. And sometimes people got hurt, but more often than not, it was just natural childhood. Like, I'm sure most of you listening, hopefully all of you listening, and hopefully all of your children and grandchildren as well, I hope it's still true. The old ways of doing things, knocking on for people and saying,
Don't hear that expression anymore, do you? Where you knock on?
Yeah, without any pre-organisation. So you knock on, and I'm knocking on for Anne.
Yeah.
Door opens. Yeah. Hello? Is Anne in? She's coming out to play, or she's having a tea at the moment. When's she finishing her tea? Would you want to come in? Yeah, thanks. Do you want a biscuit? Thank you. And you sit, shake my shoes off. All right, thank you. It was impromptu. It was spontaneous, and quite often you'd wolf down, and you'd be eating your tea 100 miles an hour. Right. Have you done your homework? Yeah. Come on. Right, let's go and knock on for Jack. Let's go and knock on for Keith. Let's go and knock on for Lucy, whoever it might be. And you'd set off on your adventures, and maybe you were all on your bikes, or maybe two of you are on your bike, and you say, get on the back, get on your back, get on the seat, I'll give you a seater, or get on the front, I'll give you a pegger, get on. And off you go. Where should we go? Or whoever it might be. And
The bikes were all on the pavement.
They were, all abandoned at the edge of drives and in the middle of streets.
You never see that now, do you? Ever?
Gangs of kids swarming here, swarming there. We did all of that. I recognise how blessed I was. And my brothers and sisters and friends at that age, we really had a magical childhood in that way. But it wasn't that uncommon. No. So it was the vast majority of children that I knew at school, and people that I've met subsequent of that generation, we all had childhoods similar to that, where we shared memories of getting, 50p mixes, or diving into the house when the icy came. The ice cream van would come round the corner, and it'd be bling, 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 bling. For whatever reason, it was some sort of Tudor green sleeves or something. And everybody diving, oh yeah, mum, dad, can I get an ice cream? Can I get an ice cream? Can I get an ice cream? And then you go and have to decide whether to get an ice cream or not. Might be a 99 or a Solero, or something like that. A Feast.
Freezers have taken that away, haven't they?
Screwball. Or you would decide to spend it on sweets and get yourself like Highland toffee bars or Wham bars.
I've never had a Highland toffee bar.
Or a refresher bar, a strawberry or lemon or something like that. They used to take your baby teeth out. If you had something like a Wham bar or a Highland toffee bar, it would literally stick to your teeth, and as you pulled it, it would pull your teeth out. All of these things, gob stoppers, things like that. 50p mixes from the corner shop.
So even little things like that were a pleasure, weren't they?
Absolutely.
Going to the corner shop and choosing your sweets.
Yeah.
So now, because again you can buy anything, can't you? You go shopping and you can buy anything on a shelf in a supermarket.
Yeah.
You come home with bars of chocolate, a pack of 4, and they go in the fridge and things like that. No,
and they're about the size, half the size they used to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is a disappointment, isn't it?
That's a big disappointment.
Yeah.
But you have what I'm saying is they're all at hand at home.
Yeah.
So you've not got the excitement of the ice cream van.
Yeah, there is
the excitement of the sweet shop.
Absolutely. This is something that we've spoken about in various guises over the weeks, months, years now, Anne. on these podcasts about maybe there's too much choice, maybe life has become too accessible. And we've spoken about music, haven't we? And the joy of the record shop in your day, literal records.
Buying your CDs.
With my childhood, it would be CDs, tapes to begin with, CDs. But now it's downloads, so you don't need to go anywhere.
Your vinyls in my day.
Well, yeah, so the actual journey to and time spent in a record shop or Blockbuster Video.
Yes.
I actually used to love going down on a Friday evening to Blockbuster and choosing your films for the weekend. And it used to be something like 2 for the price of 3 or something. You used to get yourself some 3 films for the weekend. And then if you were lucky, you saved your pocket money, you could get yourself some popcorn.
Do you know
maybe some ice cream or...
That Blockbuster thing is funny, really.
Bottle of
because
Coke
when
or something. You used to have a wonderful weekend.
It did, yeah. When my mother died, and my brother was at a crossroads, and he's quite an entrepreneur, my brother, and he came to me and he said, will you lend me some money, Anne? And I said, what do you want it for? He said, I want to go and buy something.
Right.
So I said, what? So I said, you don't have to know, dear. I'll give you the money back. So I said, that like a brother would. And I said, okay. And I gave him the money. And in Manchester, he started the first radio rental shop.
Radio rental?
Not radio rental. He started the first
Videos.
Rentals. He started the video rentals.
Well, that was a business that boomed, wasn't it? I would imagine so.
It really boomed.
Yeah.
It really boomed. He gave me my money back. I should have said I was a partner and I wasn't wise enough. He just gave me my money back. But I remember that. I didn't have to pay for the rentals though, and I had the rentals, which was quite good.
Good.
So how exciting was that?
Yeah,
going and choosing it. And now you're just pressing a button.
Yeah. One of the things that I do think about, and I've discussed it with people of a similar age, well, you as well, Anne, to be honest, anybody, in terms of, well, did you know it at the time? And the honest answer is, I think we did. I think we did know how exciting it was. It was exciting going to the video shop, to the DVD shop, to Blockbusters. It was exciting when the ice cream van, the icy turned the corner and Green Sleeves is booming and everyone's diving into their house to see if they can bend their mum's ear and twist their arm to give them 50p or a pound for an ice cream or a Wham bar. It was exciting when you were knocking on for your friends and they would come out. And it was really exciting if you asked somebody out and they said yes. And you used to wait for them at the school gate or something like that. Life was exciting. It was exciting in lots of ways. It was also quite scary in lots of ways, and there was a sense of uncertainty, but definitely an undercurrent of a possibility and a real sense of adventure and a real sense of life going somewhere. And there was real energy in youth. There was real energy. There was a real sense of a vibe, something really moving. It didn't feel prescribed. And I sense from spending time with young people today, they aren't as hopeful for the future. They don't feel excited by the future. They don't feel the sense of possibility. Of course they do in moments, but there is this burden. There is this sense of feeling burdened, concerned, worried. And I would say partly with good reason, because the world is a different place. And people are behaving differently. And it has changed, hence we're having this conversation about how life has changed. But I do think attitudes have changed. And maybe they don't need to have changed as much. Or maybe they didn't need to change as much, if I get my grammar right. Something like that. There's been a shift in attitude and awareness, as well as lived reality. And I think it's a bit chicken and egg with that.
I think we've become too comfortable. My feeling is that because of the way the world has gone with supermarkets,
right?
You can buy everything in a supermarket. You can get every film within weeks on the TV.
Yes, sometimes new films aren't even released in the cinema anymore. They're released directly onto the streaming services, so Amazon or Netflix. So
you haven't got the excitement of
going to the
cinema
theatre
and seeing it for the first time.
Yeah.
So I think excitement's been taken away. Because everything is just at hand, and it's expected to be now.
I think it's a true statement in essence what you're saying. I'm not sure about taken away. I just feel that that's what people are choosing, because we don't have to choose that. What is commonly available is dictated generally by the behaviour of people. Now, of course, people are led, but we can also lead as well.
Yes.
If everybody started buying CDs would come back. If everybody went to the cinema, cinemas would boom. If nobody watched Netflix anymore, Netflix would fold. Now, it's not as simplistic as that. And people are heavily controlled in certain ways, and definitely psychology is used to shape people's behaviour, including ours. So yes, absolutely. But in simple terms, we can choose, if we want to support local businesses, go to the theatre, go to the cinema, buy ice creams from the ice cream van, go to the seaside in the United Kingdom. We can revive these things if we put our time, energy and money into them.
But how do we...
If that's what we want to do, if that's what you listening want to do,
Yes.
we have that power if we want to.
Them. How can we show them what that excitement felt like? That's what I'm trying to say here.
The children, you mean?
Yes, everything's been taken away from them.
Oh, because they're not in a position to know different.
They're not in a different... They don't know the difference.
Yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying.
They're
It's a
in
fair
a
point you're
house
making.
that have
It's a fair
got
point.
500 channels on
Yeah.
the TV.
So they don't
and yet
know
they
the
sit
excitement.
with the phone. But they're
Yeah.
not even doing that now, are they?
They're double screening,
Yeah.
sometimes triple screening, watching a film whilst on your phone, whilst on your laptop. People do that. That's the thing.
But they're not
Yeah.
taking any one of those in.
No, half sort of nonchalantly gliding and glancing through different material.
So if I said to one of them, what was that film about, they wouldn't know, would they?
Yeah, it's boring. So,
But they didn't listen to it.
yeah.
And
That is a shame.
I have found that, I think it's that art, when we're talking now, is the art of listening is going. People are not listening, children are not listening, because they can Google everything, they don't have to listen anymore. So the art of listening is going. And you can't learn from seeing something on a screen, you have to listen, because it's the nuance in somebody's voice
Yeah.
that you pick up.
Yeah.
Or me, I might be wrong in that, but
No,
that's how
I don't
I
think you are
learn.
wrong. You're right. Yeah.
I don't, if somebody's talking to me and they're just going A, B, C, D, E. That's
Monotone.
it,
Yeah.
monotone.
Monosyllabic.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
take nothing in
Without
because...
personality or feeling or passion or
Yeah.
anything.
And some children are having that at school.
An AI cadence of just moo.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like now, lots of children, my daughters are teaching assistants,
Yeah.
and in their school, lots of the work now is done on something like a PowerPoint, and it's just pointed out.
Yeah.
And the teacher's not enthusiastic.
Yeah. Everything's become very procedural, very technocratic, very systematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you were saying, even
Yeah.
when they go home, as you said before,
Prescribed.
yeah, when they go home,
Yeah.
they go into dancing class,
Yeah.
painting class.
Yeah.
So how are they going to feel free?
Well, they're not spontaneous.
No. So I think that's what's gone.
Creativity thrives with spontaneity.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what you had,
Yeah.
what I had,
Yeah.
was spontaneity. Because
Absolutely.
we had...
Yeah. It wasn't all that, but there was
No.
a large segments of life that gave room for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have anything else.
And in a way, we had everything.
No, what I'm saying is we had to use, if we wanted
Imagination, yeah, to build
Yeah.
dens
you had to
and
build
castles.
a den. You had to build it.
Yeah. And be a cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even in the house at home.
Yeah. Or to score the winning goal in the
yeah.
FA Cup final at the last minute in Wembley. Robbie Fowler!
I remember making a
Yeah.
den at home when my children were small.
Yeah.
A den under the table.
Yeah.
So that was made into a
Yeah.
den, and then you'd have animals are coming in to get
Yeah.
you.
Endless hours of fun with cardboard boxes.
Yeah, with cardboard boxes.
Yeah. Or a blanket. Yeah. Or
And
a tea
that-
party, having a tea party for all your teddies.
And drinking tea that's not
Yeah.
there.
Or writing a play and performing it for all your family. Yeah, it's brilliant. You must be sat there thinking, oh my word. Yeah.
Yeah, when's it going to finish?
Yeah. I'll sing you a song. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not liking to tell them you're never going to be a performer, love.
Yeah. Simon Cowell.
You've got no talent.
Yeah. Let me stop you there. Yeah, I do think these things are still happening. I just think the general trend is that life has become much more cosseted.
Yes.
And that is taking away the freedom and the spontaneity. And it does have effects on the worldview that children grow up with as they become adults, about taking risks and being confident and being open to meet people they don't know, being able to approach people. I do think that that's having an effect when people talk about anxiety, about fear, about all of these things that have a reality in life. It's making people antisocial because they feel very uncomfortable about being around people because they're not accustomed to it outside of organised situations. So how do you deal with unorganised gatherings of people? Well, most people now on buses and trains, in waiting rooms, or just in awkward moments, what's the first thing they do? They put their hands in their pockets or in their bag and pull out their phone.
Don't talk.
And just stand there looking at the phone because it helps to take your attention away so people won't approach you and talk to you, rather than say, hello, are you here to see the doctor also? Or where have you come from this morning? Or do you want me to give you a hand with that? Or, oh, I've read that book. Those meet cues, those conversations are less and less. I've noticed that. And if I'm honest, I'm not engaging anything like as much as what maybe I could be based on the way I'm eulogising it now this morning.
Yes.
I'm thinking about my own behaviour, thinking, well, do I really live like that? Not as much as maybe as what I'd like to, maybe ought to. So that's something for us all to think about.
It is, yes.
When was the last time that we struck up a conversation with a stranger, a genuine conversation?
I'm quite good at that.
You are very good at that.
I'm quite good, yeah.
Gave somebody a compliment that we don't know, showed a genuine interest in what somebody else was saying. And I think that's something that we miss in life. When when anybody is speaking, and more importantly, when we're listening to somebody else, being genuinely interested in what they're saying, which can be challenging in life because it isn't always the case that what people are saying is interesting. But often, if we get people onto a subject that they're passionate about, even if it's something that we think we have no passion for, it can be really fascinating to listen to somebody speak passionately about anything.
Yes.
And you think, wow, because there's a real human, something really uniquely human, and there's a deep story in everybody and something of real meaning that we can connect to. And we're losing that in life.
I was brought up with that, though. My mother, I can remember my mother saying, come on, and let's go shopping.
Yeah.
And she was very good. She'd just say, come and go to and she'd spend money. She was a good spender of money, my mother. Let's go shopping.
That's one way of putting it.
That meant I'd get something. So obviously I was wanting to go.
You were bribed.
So I'd be about 13. And we got to the bus stop because we never had a car.
Yeah.
We got to the bus stop because we had pubs. And there's an old lady there. And she spoke to everybody. And she said, hello, dear, where are you going? Where are you going to? And this lady said, I'm going to hospital. So she said, why are you on your own? So she said, I've not got anybody to go with me. I live on my own, so I've got to go on my own.
Yeah.
So she turned to me, my mother said, we're not going shopping, we're going with this lady.
Yeah.
And she took the lady, went to the hospital with the lady. It went visiting her every night for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And then took her home, filled her cupboard up with food, and then never saw her again.
Wow,
but that's the way I was brought up.
That's something else.
Yeah.
In a brilliant way.
But she never told a soul. Nobody knew that she'd done that. I did, because I moaned all the time that I hadn't been shopping.
Yeah, you still owe me or something. Yeah. The injustice of it.
It was injustice to me, see?
Yeah. Stop helping everybody and take me shopping. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Example, isn't it?
It's a wonderful example. And I'm sure all of you listening have examples in your life when you've been a part of something or you've witnessed something or somebody's done something with you or to you that's changed the way you feel about life. It's that faith in humanity. It's bringing that faith in humanity back where we can affirm the goodness of mankind again, because there's a lot in our world, rightly, that doesn't affirm it. So we can be an example in a sincere, genuine, honest way. And it doesn't require, great expense necessarily at all. It doesn't require often great effort. It just requires genuinely being interested, genuinely putting yourself out there and overcoming maybe an initial awkwardness, being prepared to feel a bit foolish to speak to somebody else, and they might just tell you to mind your own business or ignore you, and that might be the barrier that we have to go through in life, because people have become that way, haven't they? We were all unaccustomed to not talking to each other. When I go for a walk now, as an example. I'm sure all of you listening probably have a sense of this as well. I'm inclined to look at people and smile as they go past, not because of anything untoward or odd or weird. I think it's perfectly normal. I think it's much more odd and weird to walk past somebody as if they don't exist. I find that really peculiar. Two human beings, so I'd smile or nod or good morning or hello.
That's because you had Henry.
Yeah. Well, if you have a dog, there's always a reason to talk, yeah. But now, not everybody, but most people look perplexed. Why are you smiling at me? Hello? And they look at you confused, as if that's not normal practice, as if that's not natural. And I think that's sad.
Very sad.
And I would like that to come back, where people can say hello to each other and that be commonplace. It's courtesy, kindness, human interaction, social. Wouldn't it be lovely again to bring something back that I think is very important, or to keep alive maybe? Let's say it's not dead, but holding a door open for anybody, but particularly if you're a male, for a female, but absolutely for anybody. Giving your seat up on a bus or a train or anybody for somebody else, particularly for females, particularly for the elderly, particularly for anybody that you think might be vulnerable, but anybody. Helping somebody with their shopping. And I'm not talking about virtue signalling or doing something to look good. I'm talking about genuinely taking pleasure in engaging with somebody else and saying hello to somebody else, having a chat with somebody on the checkout at the supermarket, just saying hello to them. They've sat there beeping all day or doing whatever it is they're doing, and they might love it. I'm not judging in any way, shape or form, but just engaging rather than just standing there.
That person may have nobody at home to talk
saying
to.
hello to the bus driver. That man or woman's just watching people get on and off. Does anybody ever say thank you anymore? I remember when we used to get the bus when I was younger, and we used to say thank you to the bus driver when we got off. When I see people getting off a bus now, people don't really say thank you anymore, and I think that's sad. I'm not judging anybody. It sounds like I am, but I'm not. I suppose I'm recognising a felt, tangible difference. And that doesn't mean, because things have changed, that we have to accept it as if it's fixed. Of course it can be different. So I suggest that we can bring back some common decency, some social interaction, everyday, good-hearted human interaction with each other that can make our world, even if it's just a micro bit different, a little smidgen bit better. Isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth it when people say, well, what can we do? Well, you can say hello to somebody. It's something, isn't it?
Yeah. It's massive.
Yeah.
It's not something. It's massive for somebody.
Yeah.
That person may have never seen anybody all day.
Absolutely. So those small acts, they may be called kindness, but I would just say they're just human interaction. We can call them kindness, but in a sense, it's just being alive and human and recognising
the norm, not
what
kindness.
is alive and human about everybody else.
Make it the norm.
Yes, make it what's absolutely common in the best sense of the word. That is, it's unifying, and it's what is shared. It's our shared environment. And obviously we're going to have people that are cantankerous. Maybe some of you are listening this morning, grumpy, cantankerous. But that's character as well. That's part of life. Yeah. People that are nosy, people that can't help but talk too much, other people that it's like getting blood from a stone because they don't say anything. It's very difficult to talk to them. Other people you feel maybe they need a shower or a bath, and all of that is part of the human tapestry, life's tapestry. And we find reasons why not to do something all the time because they're funny, they smell, they're moody. But let's engage with people. And let's get back to being alive and thriving together. And we can set that attitude. We can set that tone. We can do that this morning in a way that feels right and true to you, all of you listening, because everybody's got a different personality. Some people are far more outgoing than other people. Some people say things with far more words. Other people are short and say things quite abruptly or bluntly. And isn't that wonderful that people have got different aspects of different ways of doing things with different aspects of personality. And that makes life all the more richer and wonderful.
So let us lift up this world at this
time. Absolutely.
Lift
Smile and the whole world smiles with you. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. And we can set that today.
Yes.
We can do that this morning, this afternoon, this evening. Even if it's just to one person, we can. Yeah. And that's something to be done. So there you go, everybody. And you've made us smile, the thought of you all listening this morning. And I hope and trust that you've enjoyed listening, and thank you so much for listening. So have a wonderful rest of your weekend, a wonderful week. And as always, we look forward to being with you and speaking with you again next Sunday morning.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.